Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Munfrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Munfrey, and this is We Will Fix It in Post. I normally have my colleagues with me, but sometimes we have kind of scheduling conflicts, and today we finally had one. So I'll be doing this solo. Today we're talking to an actress, model, and entrepreneur from the Memphis area. She goes by the name of Jasmine Garner. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am great. So first, where did your love of film begin?
Well, my love of film began when I was a child, preteen kind of years. And I was just watching Disney Channel and Nickelodeon really heavy. And I just fell in love with sitcoms. I was just crazy about Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, and all of those shows that would come on. And I always just wanted to be on there.
What is it about sitcom? Because you don't really see them today, like, I guess, or at least not structured the way they were made when we were younger. But what is it about a sitcom that really you think just captured your attention as a young child?
I think it's because how entertaining it was. It was mostly funny stuff I would watch. I wouldn't watch anything too serious. I know some people like Degrassi. I would get into Degrassi a little bit, but I really like the fun. You were? Drama.
I mean, I like comedic stuff as well, but I was also probably more of a Saved by the Bell type.
Yeah.
And Degrassi my baby sister got me on it, but it felt a little Saved by the Bell-ish, but dramatic.
Yeah.
And with all these shows, at least now as I'm older, I'll think, like, where were these parents? Because all this stuff would happen, and nobody's parents would know where.
Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah, so I really like the comedy stuff, but I mean, I did watch Degrassi a little bit though. It was it's a lot of drama to take in as a young, as a teen.
Now, so at what point did you get from watching this to like, I want to actually do it?
I think, I have my auntie. She's also my age, and we were growing up as like best friends, and we just used to do stuff together, which ignited that love for the film because we would we would come up with our own plays or ideas. We would come up with choreography and dances. So we really like media and entertainment invested. And so I think that's kind of practically where my love for this stuff really got some traction, and we started like applying to agencies around the city. So yeah.
How old were you when you were doing this?
I would say like preteen, early preteen. I would say like starting at like 11.
You were looking for an agent at 11.
Yeah, we were having fun doing what we were doing. Unfortunately, there were no cell phone. We didn't care about recording anything, so I hate that we didn't like record ourselves.
So none, like all these little projects you and your aunt did, you have no like video evidence of none of this.
I have zero record, and it upsets me, but it's okay because I have the memory. Me and her know, and everybody who saw us knows. So, but it kind of makes me wonder if we had smartphones at that time of life, we probably would be like social media sensations or something.
See, I think the complete opposite. If we had cell phones, if I was having these type of cell phones and social media when I was young, I would have a whole lot of stuff to legally answer for. So I'm kind of glad. So if you didn't have anything video-wise, so how were you like applying to agents without necessarily any real material?
Well, that's the difference of being like a child that's applying for something, because it's pretty much understood that you have zero experience in any of this. Maybe, with your church plays or school or something like that. But so it's easy to apply as a child, besides needing like a guardian, legal guardian there.
So, like when you told your family this, what was the kind of like? How did they take it?
My mom was also always very supportive of everything that we wanted to do, even some stuff that's questionable. Like, why would you even encourage that? She's just so supportive of her kids getting out and doing something with their life. So it was never shot down from my parents or any of my siblings.
So, pretty much the entire family was like necessarily helpful.
Yeah, they were pretty. I have a pretty talented family, so they kind of want to do the same stuff.
So, so all your family kind of want to get into acting.
Yeah, they're either want to be comedians or want to be dancers. They're very musically inclined as well. So anything with media, arts, entertainment, they all for it.
Now, did you ever try to dive into music at all?
We actually did. Me and my aunt, we both could sing. She could sing better than me at that time, being a preteen. But my grandfather was a underground recording artist, unsigned, and he had a studio. So whenever I would be with my aunt, spending the night at Grandpa's house, he would invite us to come record stuff for him for his mixtapes and stuff. And me and her would write songs, and we would sing together, and also do our choreography to our songs. So I could say all of it was kind of it was all a part of me, but I didn't really want to pursue music.
You got any of these mixtape songs in the vault somewhere?
He does. Well, he's passed away since, but a lot of his songs, mixtapes, all of that, my aunt has it or his son has it. So I could actually retrieve them. So that makes
Why
me
haven't
happy.
you? You haven't been curious about it?
Not really. I mean, I guess I haven't thought about it in a while.
Well, hint, hint.
Yeah, for real.
Go ahead and you may hear some go, oh, maybe I should get back into music.
Yeah, it was really fun doing that stuff.
Now, were you doing like church praise or anything?
A little bit. I wouldn't say I was very invested in the plays. I was really young and shy, so they would kind of make me do stuff for plays. But I would have like a line or two as a child, so yeah.
So, I mean, like when you say you were shy and being like, you kind of remember like where you were feeling being across that church audience?
Yeah, so the church plays, I was really, really young. So this was before preteen. I was like 4 or 5 or 6. So at that time, I was like very shy. I didn't even want to look at adults. When they spoke to me, I was a kid that hid behind my mom's leg. So that's how shy I was. So that was very nerve-wracking for me as a child. But they would give me one line, so I wouldn't have to be up there very long.
So you tend to hear like a lot of actors and actresses, like they were shy as kids. What do you think makes like shy people want to get into the arts?
I think as they grow up and they get out of their shell and their personality starts to come out, and then they start seeing and experiencing different things, I feel like your environment makes you confident. You know, as a child, you're kind of like very vulnerable, and anything could just hurt a child and ruin them for life. You know, like you have to be very careful. But I think the environment and people nurturing that personality, I think it makes them want to be a star. It makes them want to show more of who they are.
Do you think that the church environment, like when you were young and shy and didn't want to look at adults, and usually in a church, like they're usually very supportive. Like I think I was like in a choir when I was a kid. Couldn't sing a lick, but they would clap and act like I could. So do you think that was somewhat helpful for you as well?
I don't think so. so, because I think I was just too young to even care. I just did what they told me to do, and I just run off stage to go sit next to my mom. So I don't think I really started to care as much until I got old enough to know, what I would like to do with my life.
So at that point, it was just a chore for you.
Yeah. So let me just do this, They're asking me to do it, I'll be a nice little kid and say this one little line.
Do you remember like what kind of like were you like a Christmas play or something like that?
It was usually Easter where they would ask me to be in.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've done an Easter play too.
Yeah.
And I was also a guy in with a guitar. I think I had a Jerry curl. There was some form of hair on my head. This is a long, as you can see, I have no hair now. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But so back to where you were looking for an agent, like, did you ever find one?
No, not really. There were several programs that were around for teens to get started. My mom, she never really wanted to pay those people when I was younger, like 11 or 12. And I think being a child and my mom being a single mom of like 5, it's really hard for her to just put her attention and her money towards just me.
Yeah.
And all my other siblings needed things. So I never really found like an agent. I did attend Barbizon modeling agency to try to get my foot in the door. I was like 14 or 15 years old. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish that program either because my mom was struggling to pay for everything.
So because a lot of actors as well started modeling. Like at that time, you said 14. Would you still consider yourself pretty shy?
Not like being a kid, definitely not. I would definitely speak this time to adults and look them in their eye. But I was still shy, yeah. I was a very quiet child, but getting around the right people that are my type of funny and silly, I would definitely come out of that shell.
So you would kind of work to at least the 14-year-old version of you. It's kind of finding people that you can relate to.
Yeah, finding an environment or friends that I'm comfortable being myself around.
Now the modeling school you was at, do you think that helped at all with confidence?
Did it help me with confidence? I would say it did, because they will put you on the stage and put you on spot in front of everybody else. And I really like Barbizon because they teach like book stuff too. Like, so, normally when you're at an agency, you don't really have like a lot of booklets or pamphlets that you're taking home with you or anything like that. So I liked how they invested into young women by teaching them etiquette, manners, how to apply your makeup properly. So they were really on like the development side, and I love that about them. I think that really helps young girls become confident.
So as far as development, you mean in like self-development or just kind of like development as a model?
I would say both, like self-development as mannerisms and, proper diction and things like that. And then also on the modeling side of how to apply your makeup and how to speak to agents and things like that. They were really good with both of those.
So modeling, would you say this is the first time, I'm guessing you've done, kind of walked off and displayed clothes or whatever. So would you say this would be the first time you've been on stage for a audience that wasn't primarily a church audience?
Yeah, yeah.
What was that like for you?
It wasn't like a lot of parents or anything like that. Like it wasn't like a show. I think if I would have graduated, then that would have been
The show.
The show, different agents, parents in the audience. This was more so the students that I didn't know, other girls that I had no idea who they were in class with me. So it was still nerve-wracking. I didn't know them. I didn't know what they were thinking of me.
So how do you kind of like, because I mean, when you're out there, you kind of like see how people are looking at you and see how the facial expressions, You can almost kind of see what they're thinking with their eyes. Some people can be, I mean, you're basically displaying clothes. It can be judgmental. So how do you block that out?
Well, really, when you're modeling, you're not even supposed to be looking at anybody's face anyway.
So what do you look at?
You're supposed to just look straight ahead because the people are taking pictures of you. So you want to make sure you have a good shot with your head high and your eyes are forward. When I look at people when I'm doing runway, it's distracting. And I don't really, I've been to a couple shows where they encourage you to look at people and smile at them, and I don't like that. I don't want to look at people and smile at them. Like, I need to focus on doing my walk well and getting a good shot at the end of the runway.
Like, is it at a point now where it's like as far as your walk and 'cause, like there is a somewhat of a certain walk that you all have. Like it's somewhat fluid. And is it all like is it muscle memory or just like little things that you have to like, okay, do this, do that, do that.
I would say it's muscle memory. Once you practice enough, you pretty much have a default walk that you would do.
A default walk. And now like a lot of people wouldn't even think like you have to literally practice walking. So how much practice do you put into your walk?
Recently, not as much because I've been doing more acting, but I would say when I was doing a lot of runway, before shows, they would always run through it with us, making sure our walk is good. And then I would do it at home for a few days before the show as well in different inch heels, shorter heels, taller heels. And so, yeah, it really is a practice, and you really do have to do what makes you comfortable, either if it's in an uncomfortable height or really short. But it's mostly going to be like a high heel.
Now, this is just me being a guy and don't know anything. How does the like different size of heels affect your walk?
I think it affects confidence for sure because if you're not used to walking in a certain inch heel, when you get out there, you haven't practiced, you're going to be very worried and you're probably going to mess up. It's going to look like you don't know what you're doing. So I I love it when we're allowed to like compromise with that. Like if they tell us to get our own shoe, oh great, thank you so much. And then they say like make sure it's just 3.5 inches. Then that means I can go try on something and make sure I'm comfortable. But when they give you the shoes and you don't have a choice, that's difficult because yeah, if you're not confident walking in that, you could probably mess up out there. So you got to practice a lot with those.
So, well, like, would they give you these shoes like I don't know the day of, or like maybe a day or two, so you can practice with the shoe?
It depends. It's mostly they'll give it to you the day of that goes with that outfit.
Um,
So the day of, you're either out in the hallway with another model walking, getting that shoe ready for that runway, and it can be nerve wracking, especially when you have a show when they give it to you the day of, and you probably got like a 2 or 3 hours to practice with that.
Now, would that be like an adequate amount of time?
I would say it is, given how long you're actually walking with that shoe on, because it's probably just going to be from one outfit, and it's probably just going to take you 30 seconds to go out and back. So I think that's enough time to get comfortable enough to when you can do like a 30 to 45-second walk in that.
Now, because again, a lot of people, a lot of actors come from the world of modeling. What is it? Like, what do you think that from the modeling world that makes models transition into acting smoothly?
A model is transitioning to acting. I really, you said what makes it smooth?
Well, like why is the transition? Like, what do you take from modeling and bring it into acting?
Well, they definitely go hand in hand. So the body, what is it, the posture is important when acting and modeling. Being able to speak well is still needed in modeling because sometimes there's promotional modeling, there's brand, what is it called? There's brand ambassadorship modeling. So all of that kind of goes hand in hand with, because I remember my agency saying, you can't just pick modeling and not check acting. When I was first signing up to be accepted into an agency, she was like, you have to pick, we really want you to pick all of it. Music too, if you can sing, yeah, to increase the opportunities. But she was saying that you can't just say acting and not have modeling, or modeling and not have acting, because it all works together.
Now, would you suggest someone starting out to go into the world of modeling first?
I think it's a good start for sure, because you learn how to carry yourself, and you learn your posture, you learn your good side, your lighting. All of that is good with acting as well, because you're not just doing lines, you also need to know how you look given those lines. Where's your good side? How's the lighting hitting you? So yeah, all of that I think is good together.
Now, like back to when you were a teenager and you were looking for agent, like, so it would, I guess, like, did you do any acting as a teenage girl?
No, other than like auditions and stuff. That's like either auditioning or practicing with like another actor. I think that's the most I had done.
So, at what point do you believe like you got into, like, you just fully immersed yourself in the world of acting?
I believe I got fully immersed when I got to Nashville. After I had graduated my agency in Memphis, and I was already living in Nashville at the time. So I think finally graduating from her and having jobs being presented to me was when I fully got immersed in it.
So now, usually you hear people like usually like you graduate, you would just go to California or go to New York or go to Atlanta. That's the kind of the new hub. So, what was it about Nashville do you think worked for you?
I think so. I definitely didn't choose. Well, actually, I did choose Nashville when we transitioned from San Diego to back towards the southeast. I did choose Nashville as a place to live, but at that time I wasn't thinking about acting. But how it worked for me though, while I was there, is they were coming up really fast in the film industry in Nashville. We know that they're music city, music this, music that, but definitely the film was really starting to like take precedence as a part of their culture. So they helped me with getting small jobs, either being an extra in a music video or those new shows that they started to do, Nashville, that was on, I think, CMT. I was able to be a part of that as well.
So you got in by being an extra, which
Yep.
I did as well. So, yeah, what was the first like set that you was an extra on?
Oh, what was the first one? I think it was with on location casting with Nashville.
Yeah, me as well. So like because I'm like this first time you're like on a set for a show that's airing on a network. So was it like you kind of remember how you felt being on that set?
Yeah, it was exciting. I was like, wow, this is what it looks like behind the scenes of like a major sitcom. Or they're not really considered sitcom, are they?
Uh,
They did have a story with their.
I can see where because it's like a drama and yeah, like a sitcom.
Yeah. But it was really exciting just to see how that goes, because you never really, you can see all the behind the scenes stuff on YouTube, all that, but just being there, it's like, wow, this is like the real deal.
Do you remember like anything in particular to go, oh, okay, I'm on a heavy duty set.
Yeah. So some of them, I wouldn't say they're not really mean, but it can be a frustrating job when people aren't doing what they're supposed to do. And so even though it was a bunch of extras there and I'm just, a little extra, it's like you still need to do what they're asking you to do because they're trying to get a job done here. And they will snap at you if you sitting around lollygagging when you're supposed to be in position.
And they probably been there since what, maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. So
Right.
they've been there maybe what 4 or 5 hours before the extras even show up. Now, my moment was a lot more, well, a lot less snappy. Like I was, like they have huge cameras. So when there's like a little, and usually camera people, they're not just really focusing on getting the shot or anything. I have no problem talking. I'm like, I wonder how much is that camera? They're like, yeah, it's about $80,000. Like that's more than my car. Like, yeah, it's more than my car too. I said, oh, okay. I'm on this kind of set. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
at what point did you can't do because it's exciting, but then you realize at what point you go, oh, there's a lot of waiting involved in this.
Yeah, it's like even though it's the real deal, it's like it's still like you're waiting on those big actors. You're waiting on them to like be ready for their job and stuff. So it definitely put things into perspective because I mean you're just sitting there chilling, you're meeting some cool people, you're talking about your experience and da 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 da. But we on here with some real people that have salaries and went to school for this. And so it's like, even though we're waiting, they're still working when they're waiting. They're waiting on these actors. They're waiting on the next shot to be done. So
So for someone who's probably not used to being an extra, so what would you say makes a good extra?
somebody who follows directions and who's quiet. Cause you hear that a lot on set. Be quiet or quiet on set. And hopefully your phone is not ringing. And hopefully you're just a quiet, you know how to be quiet. If you're a loud, boisterous person, you need to learn how to turn it off when you get on set.
Now, like, what was your first like speaking role?
My first speaking role, when was that? You know what's funny about that, I think? Well, I have done some college film. I think my first speaking was with you in James Handsome.
No, really?
Yeah, before that it was all just extra work or runway show.
It's weird because when I mentioned, I kind of got this sense of you. I don't know where I got this from. I just felt like you'd done something before, like you, and maybe that's just from like where you picked up from. You just kind of had this aura of a professional actress.
That's good because I really did. That was like my first time speaking in front of a camera and learning lines because before that it was all just extra work or runway and auditions, tons of auditions.
Wow. So how did you get yourself prepared for your role? Because I believe you were kind of crazy or drunk or both. So yeah, how did you prepare yourself for that?
Definitely a lot of role playing at home, and I was in Nashville by myself for the most part, so I
You
didn't
didn't
really
have any
have,
roommates you had that was
yeah,
you were annoying.
right, yeah. So I lived by myself, and I would just get in my mirror and just go over those lines, and I did look at a few videos of how drunk women act when they're on a date or something. So I could, because I haven't really been in that kind of position before. So I was like, okay, it's, even though I've watched this on TV before, I'm about to play this. So I need to make sure that I can embody that kind of character.
So I guess you were like researching for like details of being a drunk person.
Yeah.
So like what kind of details were you kind of looking for?
It's like mannerisms, like it's the slurred speech, or, like how would their conversation kind of change? Like what would I start saying or what would I start doing that could indicate that okay, she's out of her mind. So I was looking for like stuff like that.
Okay. So like how long you think you how long do you think it took you to get yourself kind of prepared for
I can't really remember how much time we really had before we shot it, but I can say that the time that we had, probably spent every day making sure I got that down, especially when we had that part about the fighting at the end. So I was like, okay, I got to do this. I got to work on this every day because this is like, drama.
it? So, and I mean, you're basically putting yourself in I guess the role you're playing is not something you're used to doing in your day to day life. Like, do you
Yeah,
kind of enjoy that?
I think I do. I think it's like an adrenaline rush when it's something that I haven't done before. Because it's like, well, let me try my best to pull this off. Let me get into that kind of headspace.
Is it more of feel like a challenge for you or something?
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure.
So, like, or as like a kind of role that will be so far off from who you are, like in your mind, what role would that be? Or you can even use an example.
I don't know if it's the one I'm doing now or if it was that one. Because even with the one I'm doing now, I've had my rebellious teenager streak. So I could put myself in that kind of mindset and, remember how that was like. But James Hanson I never really had been on a blind date. I never had been like drunk on a blind date and then bringing a guy back to my house and then we fighting. So it's like that was really far fetched for me than this role I'm doing
Literally
now.
none of this would have happened in your life in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Like, so when you got this role, did you like explain it to your friends basically what this was?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They was
what did they
like,
say?
you gotta play a drunk girl? How'd you gonna do that? They wondered how I would pull that off because I never really had, just been that way.
Uh, you pulled it off pretty well. I think this lady had some Hennessy before in her lifetime. She had a swig or something, which I've never. Well, no, I've been tipsy. I've never been drunk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what type of drunk I am, but I'm assuming I'm a giggly drunk because when I was tipsy at that moment, everything was funny to me.
Really?
Everything, like literally everything. Like, I thought I was gonna laugh my lungs off.
I don't even know if I've even been tipsy. Like I've had a few drinks before that moment, but yeah, I've never been like drunk or I don't even know if I've been tipsy. So all of that was like
You,
a challenge.
if you have to think about it, you didn't.
Okay, probably not. I guess I'm just, casual drinking because I like how it tastes. Definitely a fruit drinker. I don't like all the like real dry and bitter. So I drink for taste.
You sound like an adult now. So, like, how did you go the process of like learning your lines?
Looking in the mirror is something that I do to see how I'm giving it off and how my posture is when I'm doing it. Because facial expression is everything when you're doing film. So you're learning the lines, but you're also feeling what they feel, and that means that it has to look like you're feeling something. So looking in the mirror is a good thing. It's something that I do, and another thing that really helps me remember my lines for like months is writing it down. I think when I write, I have a good memory. So I write down every line that I have, as well as the last line of the person before me, so that I know where mine starts.
Okay, that's a nice little tip out there for the actors with bad memories like myself.
Yeah, that really helps. I was like remembering. It's so easy to remember like that for me. I don't know how anybody else would be with writing it down, but for me, it kind of just locks it in for a while. Like even filming what I'm doing now, we've been doing this for months, and maybe once a month we'll come back, and the next month we'll come back. So that's a lot of space in between, enough
Okay.
time for you to forget a line, but if I just refresh the day before, I'm back at it because I wrote it down.
So you just do like a rewrite the day before or something like that?
I would even rewrite it. I would just look at it because I also make notes as well. So when I write it, I'm making notes about how this role, how the emotions are in this moment. So I'll just go back and read those scenes that I'm about to do. And
Now, those
yeah,
notes, because you tend, like I hear actors, they say they kind of make little cues and notes. Like, why is that so important for you to do?
it's important because if you just like I mentioned before, like you're not really just reading, you're also trying to feel what they're feeling in that moment. So it's important to definitely like write down what kind of situation is this person in when she says this. Because you can get into the habit of just reading it right off the page, but it's really like a sad moment or it's an excitement or so you want the people that are watching it, they are trying to follow along with the story and you want them to feel what's going on as well. So it's important to write those cues.
And you also wanted to go back to, you mentioned you do a lot of practicing in the mirror.
Yeah.
Is that something you got from modeling, or you just kind of stumble upon it?
I think it's from modeling because you use the mirrors a lot when you're practicing modeling. So I think that's just what it is. Like it's just kind of like a second nature thing. Like I got a script in my hand. All right, I'm gonna go to the mirror. I don't know. It's just second nature. It's like just go in the bathroom and look at myself while I read it.
Because I'm kind of envisioning, like, I don't know if you seen Issa Rae's Insecure.
A little bit.
She'll like kind of rap in a mirror, like, or she'll talk to herself and psych herself up in the mirror. So is that kind of something you do as well?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's kind of it builds confidence too when you see yourself and you see what you're doing. It helps you. It helps you build confidence because you're able to do those affirming things. You're able to see your own delivery before anybody else sees it.
Now, is that something like when you first did it, is it was it almost like this kind of weird feeling, or like something you had to get kind of used to doing because it's like you're looking at yourself in
It's
detail?
weird. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird because I mean, it's especially if you're somebody that when you see yourself on camera, you're like, oh my gosh, don't look at me. That's kind of like me. I don't know why I'm like that. It's like, don't look at me. But in the mirror, it's like, it's weird. It's like, okay, this is me. Why did I make that smirk? Why did I smile like that when I said that? You know, like you're seeing all of your flaws.
You're seeing what your face with your no one else kind of well the things that you don't necessarily notice.
Yeah.
I have to do that. Well, I don't do it a lot, but if I have to, like, I'm not a naturally angry person.
Hmm.
So if I have to audition for something that I have to be angry, then I do the mirror technique. Or I like I've only had to do this twice where I had to like cry on cue. Which are you good at that?
No, I'm not. I suck at it.
I am better at it than I thought I was.
So tell me how you do that.
I don't. So with lines, if I hear myself talk in a certain way, it just kind of comes out.
What?
Yeah, it's like because I was doing this like in a workshop. If I sound like I'm about to cry, something my brain goes, we probably should be crying. Or another thing, do you listen to Billie Holiday?
I don't.
Like really, like that soulful, just sad music. Listen to that on the way there, and I just kind of imagined really sad situation. I am sounding like sound like I really need therapy, but absolutely fine. But no, I have a very vivid imagination, so I think of
Yeah.
like sad situations within a song. Like
Okay.
it was this one song. It was a really nice song, but it was just very loopy, and I'm just imagining like people getting married, then the they, the wife goes somewhere during a honeymoon, and she's in a car crash, and the guy's crying, and I'm visioning this as if I know him,
No.
and I'm a little bit of an empath, so once I'm in that mind state, it's. I mean, I'm not bawling boo hoo, but you know, you do the grown man film cry, like the Denzel and Glory. I can do the Denzel and Glory cry.
Okay.
I can get one or two of them out and make it look somewhat convincing. But for me, I've noticed I cannot believe I'm the guy, and it's easier for me to cry than it is for the actress. But yeah, like I can talk a certain way, and it kind of comes out.
Yeah.
I haven't done
That
it.
is so weird because I struggle with it like by myself, okay. Yeah. I can get it to come out. But when that camera's on you and there's a cue, like you have to, it's like, dang, I need more time. Like I need, it just doesn't come naturally and I
And
have
you
to use
also
eye
take
drops.
that beat, like there's like beats within, you have like your beats within your script. Try to do it within those beats, or like practice it within those beats. That's what I've heard from someone else. It's
That's some experience stuff right there.
yeah. I'm literally cannot believe because for years I was like, oh, I never, like I always want to do comedy because it's kind of my natural state. I know how to naturally be funny.
Yeah.
I can look at a script and go, I can use like physical cues. I can give a look. I can say this in a certain way. Like my example of why I like comedy. Like I can, if I was doing stage and I'm like having to propose marriage to someone and I forget a line, I can comedically work, kind of get my way out of that.
Okay, improv.
Yeah. So I'm like great at improv, but I can throw you for a loop. I'm quite fun at improv. But if it's a serious scene and I'm like professing my love to you and I'm asking you to marry me and I forget a line, I'm in a little situation. I,
I don't even know. I've done improv a little bit in Nashville when I was practicing and trying to get better. I I won't say I'm good at it. I can do it,
do you like
but
it?
I think I started to like it after I did it one time successfully. When you fail something, you kind of like start hating it because I had messed up a few times. But after doing it and it flowed, it's like, okay, I can do this. I like this.
So look, I think I know. I have a feeling when you were failing when you first started. Were you kind of like someone's kind of giving you a situation and you're kind of overthinking it?
Probably so. And not only that, being in front of people watching you come up with stuff off the top of your head, that's nerve-wracking. Like, I already have never done like a theater where it's like people just sitting there watching your performance. So that's nerve-wracking for me already, just being in front of folks. Two, you want me to just come up with something off the top of my head that follows what they said, and everybody's watching me? That's
So
nerve-wracking.
that and this is kind of what I used to do, what I would do. So when they're talking, I'm just thinking of one thing, which one thing I can take. I take what I do for interviews, what I do for like improv.
Okay.
Like I may have an idea of what they may say. Now it's usually great to go first because you control it. They have to respond to you. You can take it wherever you want it to go. They got to respond to it. Or I have my little comedic rule for myself. What is the craziest thing can happen in this situation that this person gave me? So now, like if you came in and was like, "Oh my God, I just caught my boyfriend with my best friend." What's the craziest thing I could say at this moment? Shoot her. So now I somewhat kind of, it's a little competitive with me as well. Because like if I say the craziest thing I can think of, now the ball's in my court.
Yeah.
So now you gotta respond to me. and I just threw you a haymaker. So what you gonna do with that? You can throw me another haymaker. I'm gonna find another haymaker and I'm gonna throw it at you. And usually, when I at least haven't done it a lot for me to be giving advice. But I know for me, I, some people like to start it. I don't. I just kind of like to hear you talk, and I'm like, okay, what's the weirdest thing I can do in this situation? And
Yeah.
then just throw it at you. Because even if I, especially with improv or anything comedic, you can use your failures to your advantage. So I think that's what I like is it's like, okay, I don't have to remember a script. I can twirl this around however I want it, as long as it's somewhat funny. And I can fail and probably look, I can almost fail at it and look probably better than what I originally was going to plan to do anyway.
Yeah. That's the crazy part about it. It's like you don't have a script. It's kind of like a free thinking thing. You just have to follow along and be a responder. But it's like, why does that make you freeze up? Because they're like, why am I freezing up when I don't have a script? I can say whatever I want at this moment and it'll still just go, you know?
Is it kind of like a almost having too much freedom?
That must be what it is. Some people, it works for them. Some, it's like, oh, I gotta have something to,
Well,
like my thought just, I gotta have something to go by. I guess what you mentioned was thinking on one thing that they said and taking that. That's probably something I need to practice doing is focusing on what's one thing they said that I could turn or that I can give like a really witty or crazy response to.
I don't even have to be weird. Just I always go, what's the craziest thing that can happen in this situation this person gave me? And I just use that. Now
That's a
you
good
gotta,
tactic.
I just threw a bomb in your house. What you gonna do with it? You figure it out. So now it gives you a little bit more control, but and it's also kind of fun as well. Usually, people who are really into improv. They probably like that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Now, do you think you're the type of actor that likes the structure of having a script?
I think, yeah. I think, because at least I know what I'm going by. There are some people that are able to just operate in a free zone and it just works for them. But I think it's also a handful of people that's like, okay, if I have something to go by, a structure, I can really rock this.
Is it like a bit of comfortability to you?
I wonder if it's comfortable. Yeah, yeah. And it's good to get out that comfort zone. So that's why I was doing improv for a while because I like that structure, but I wanted to see what else, could I do.
Now, when actually now at just in your everyday life, would you consider yourself more introverted or extroverted?
I usually consider myself an introverted extrovert. So I'm gonna start with introvert.
Ambivert.
Ambivert, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's like,
So is it like in like on certain situations you just kind of thrive off the energy of it, or like how does it work for you?
well, I am conservative and reserved as a first impression. I like to, you know, sit back and watch my environment, see who I'm dealing with, type of person, and then if I'm comfortable, I'm an extrovert. If I'm not comfortable, I will remain in my introverted state.
So, and I asked it because when you're like, how do you kind of like navigate that as being a actress? Because you like person outside looking in may look at an actress and think, oh, they're extroverts. They just love the attention. They love talking to people. They love the glitz and glamour of it. They love all of that. And you model and you're an actress. So someone may assume that you're more of an extrovert. So how do you kind of
Right.
navigate with that?
Well, I would definitely like look, everybody's not the same. I know it seems like, actresses, they're talkative, they can be a talk show host. There's a place for that, for sure, because there are people who are they're there for their job because they like the job of being in character. And some is just like, well, I like talking to everybody on set. I like making connections. Da, da, da. So me, it's like, I like making connections, but I gotta be comfortable, you know. So you may see me acting and modeling and think you can put me on a talk show host job, and I'm gonna say no, that's not my job. That's not my preference. I would rather be in the crowd clapping on cue than to be the person up there trying to get the crowd hype.
So you know your lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for like, at what point do you think you kind of figured that out, like, for yourself?
I think as a teenager, growing into who I am, like my personality has always been introverted first. Even with people that I know that I'm comfortable with, I just start off, chill. You know, I kind of let other people's energy guide the atmosphere. I don't want to. I'm not usually the one to like set the tone. I'm there, and I get a feel for what I'm around. So I think that started as being a teenager, because yeah, it just never was like with the in crowd or the popular kids. I was just kind of with the people that are chill. You barely know them, but they're really cool.
Now, I want to also get into, you're also an entrepreneur. You have a magazine. Tell us the other stuff that you do as well.
Yeah, so I have a ministry, a women's ministry called the Modest Movement, and that I basically minister to women about their confidence, their bodies, and how God sees them and how He designed us to be. And I also have a digital marketing agency where I help people start their online business, because I really love doing that. Anybody that just has an idea for something and they want to make a part-time or side hustle income, I love helping people build that kind of revenue. And of course, you know about the acting and the modeling. I also have a magazine where I showcase other people's talents. That's a part of my introverted side. Like, I'm not trying to be the one on the front of the cover, but I can put you on the cover and I can write about you. And so those are the things that I do.
So, like, as long as I've known you, you've never really worked a 9 to 5. Is this just kind of like, that's always been like your personality? Like, you're not comfortable in that element, or is it just been something that's kind of, it just worked out for you as far as like being, because with acting and trying to work an everyday gig, it can be a bit of a hassle.
Yeah, so it's really weird. I wanted to work when I turned 18, but when I was in California, it was so hard to find a job with no, I didn't have zero experience. So I wasn't a teenager that had their first job when they were 16. So I'm 18, like trying to find something that I can do, and it was hard. So I just got pulled into the entrepreneur realm out in California with selling organic energy drinks and learning how to prospect and learning how to do sales. And it wasn't until I got to Nashville when I was 20 that I got my first 9 to 5. And I enjoyed it. It was cool. I was like, oh, 9 to 5s are cool. Like, this is like a job. Jobs are fun. But after a while, having my dreams of acting and modeling, it's like, well, this isn't somewhere that I see myself just pursue. I don't see myself pursuing a career in corporate America. The more I was involved in it, I went from job to job, just, looking for that stability. And each job I went to, I was like, man, this isn't it. It's not it. So I started driving part-time, and then I started driving full-time with DoorDash and Uber, and it worked out for me. And I was able to pay all my bills on time and have savings and pay off debt. So I was like, yo, this side gig life is great. Like, this gig economy, like, I can actually do this and be okay. But of course, that led to me starting my digital marketing. So I definitely didn't want to keep driving for the rest of my life. I like to help people with marketing and stuff. So that's kind of how I transitioned.
So with acting and freelancing, does freelancing help you as far as being an actress, as far as the business side, like being able to audition, having that, being able to navigate your time? So does freelancing help with
Ye-
structuring your time?
Yeah, for sure. So that was definitely one of the reasons why I started driving because I was like, ugh, all these auditions coming up, and I don't have the time to get this done tonight. And, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do driving full time so that I can be available to get these projects because I needed stuff on my resume. But if you're not available, then you're just not available. So I was like, no, I want to be available. So I made myself available, and I was able to get some of those first like groundwork projects on my resume that helps you get bigger projects. So that's really important to have time. Yeah.
And talk to us about the project that you're currently working on.
Yeah, so the project I'm on now is being filmed in Memphis with a company there called Platinum Films. And I am playing the main character, which is Bridget. And the film is called Separate Paths, and it's about two sisters that went off to college. One kind of just, went off the deep end and got involved in a lot of negative things. And the other sister stayed on a good path. And so the movie is following the life of Bridget and her negative choices in college.
Okay. Like, what interests you about this role?
It's the fact that it's a challenge because it's not, it's not like, it's even though it's like a faith-based company and film, they do things, they want to reach people that they don't want to like preach to the choir. So it's not like it's all pretty and, watered down and all of that. It's like real life. Bridget is doing real things on camera. She's smoking on camera. She's drinking. She's at the club. She's wearing vulgar things. So I thought it was really interesting for me because I like doing roles that are real. It doesn't have to promote a negative story for it to be a real thing, for it to be like a real situation that people can relate to. And that's a challenge for me because that's not really a lifestyle that I live. So I was like, okay, let me put myself in those shoes so I can relate to people in those shoes.
Now, finally, just wanted to ask, what is it that you love about acting?
I think I really like just telling a story, telling somebody else's story. It doesn't have to be mine. I like being able to convey that to people. Yeah.
I think that's a great way to end it. Well, Jasmine, thank you for taking time out to talk to me today.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
And don't forget about us once you win that Oscar or Emmy.
Of course not. You don't forget about me.
Yeah, I'll forget me if I win an Emmy. I'm going to turn into a whole new human being.
Oh, my goodness.
I may turn into Bridget if I get an Emmy.
Oh.
Who knows? But this is F It. We will fix it in post. I am Kevin Mumphrey. I thank you for listening. And that is a wrap.